So what's an important truth that you really believe in that few people agree with you about?
I believe that women will outnumber men in computer science in the next 2 decades. We're already seeing on Brit and Co. coding is one of our top classes among teenage and early 20-something-year-old women.
I can be pretty persuasive, so maybe by the time I finish, then everyone will just agree with me. But I have been reading Andy Grove's book, High Output Management, and there's this preface that he wrote after the original edition, which is like, oh, hold on, everything I said here, but let me tell you about this new crazy thing called email, which is changing the game. And it's definitely incorrect to think that there was something that started in the mid to late 80s with the electronification of internal communications, and then that terminates with Slack. So I think the thing that I believe is that we're a couple of decades into a 100-year or multi-100-year transformation in how we as a species relate to one another. And I think, the internet in general is as profound a change as written language. So more profound than any other technology since then. So since, 4,000 years ago.
Nice.
I have some views about immigration. Obviously I'm biased, I'm an immigrant. But you hear a lot in the debate around immigration, people throwing out reasoning. And always you hear in kind of political debates, people will make 6 arguments for one side and 6 arguments for the other. And so for example, when it comes to immigration, you'll hear these arguments like, oh, we're bringing over all these kind of students on student visas, and we train them up, and then we send them off to other countries, and they're competing with us there. Or immigrants create jobs, and look at all these immigrants who've created companies, and that's why immigration is good. And I guess I believe that, in a way, none of that stuff matters. In that, sure, if it is persuasive, that's great, and if it helps the cause. But fundamentally, the reason why we should be pro-immigration is just that migration is a good thing. And it's a defining thing about our species, and has been going on since the beginning. And it really bothers me that so many countries, the US included, they're kind of by default anti-immigration. It's that you should not be able to come here unless you have a real good reason. And I remember kind of filling out the paperwork and producing reams of documentation for, please can I be let into your country? And I think that default keep everyone out rather than we should be letting people in, just because it is by itself a good thing, is something I believe pretty strongly. Whereas everything I hear in the debate is that we should do it for economic reasons, or we should be doing it for national security, all this kind of stuff.